welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast. This is your Monday night recap, and with me tonight, I have the Hall of Famer, the cooker, the superficial one, Bob Cook, and my new co-host, a gentleman who needs no introductions, another guy who is a legend in professional wrestling. And of course, I'm talking about Robbie Ido. What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much. How you doing, KG?
I'm doing good, man. So
I've been better, but I've been worse. But I don't know where to go from there.
I can relate. Trust me.
All I know is it's cool weather in Florida. Finally, I would say thank God, but I just say thank the weather.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool here too. Today was overcast, rainy. It's about 50 degrees. It felt like it's about 35 degrees.
Oh.
So yeah. So Monday Night Raw, guys. Parts were good. Parts were overall, start with you, Robbie. What you think about the show?
Like I agree with you. There were parts that were good, parts that were I mean, it just seems like they probably could cut an hour off of that show and do away with like a lot of these, like especially in the beginning. It just seems like it's all in the beginning. Like we're taking 15 minutes to get to the ring. Now we're doing half-hour promos and stuff like that, and just kind of drawing the show out. I mean, you can kind of do without that stuff.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my complaints. Bob, what about you? What did you think about Raw last night?
I thought there was a fantastic main event. I really liked the main event.
Yes, I can agree with that. But to Robbie's point, and that was the first thing that I was going to talk about. The show started off with Uso coming out. I mean, man. Between, I think it took him and CM Punk a total of about 15 minutes on their entries. They spent another 10 minutes cutting a promo that basically said nothing. This was way too long, in my opinion. Bob, what did you think about the start of the show?
I think those kind of promos are a waste of time anyways, most of the time, because you already know the match is happening Saturday. Them standing out there for 15 minutes saying, oh, this and that, and I'm going to get you whatever. It's not going to make more people tune in. People who are going to tune in are going to tune in anyways, and I don't think many people are going to tune in because who cares about Jey Uso or Jimmy? Which one is it? They're hard to keep track of now.
Jey Uso. Go ahead, Rob. What are your thoughts about the opener? I know you kind of explained it already. You said it's way too long. Did you get anything out of this promo? Did this promo make you want to tune in to Saturday night's main event?
No. I mean, there wasn't like no hype, no excitement to it.
Right.
I just.
Right. No,
I mean, some promos you like they do, you get excited about them and stuff. This one didn't make you excited,
I completely agree with that. It was basically CM Punk saying, you're a friend of mine, but I'm gonna do what I have to do, and basically Jey Uso saying I'm not listening to anybody. Yeah, it was a waste of a half an hour, in my opinion. Next, we went backstage to Dominic Mysterio. He was a bit in the jam. He was asking for the help from his friends because of the fact there was a number one contenders match between Pitta and Rusev. Again, this was a space filler. I got nothing out of this. Let's start with you, Ido. Did this do anything for you?
Didn't do anything for me, but if you kind of read into it a little bit, you wonder how much longer the Judgment Day, or if Finn's going to try to go off on his own. That's about what it did for me.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with that. I think it's time to turn Dom into a face because that's what the fans want. They were chanting his name. And this storyline of these guys breaking up, I swear this has been going on for about 6 months now. Like, pull the trigger already. Bob?
Well, can we go back to Saturday's main event for a second?
Yeah,
I got
absolutely.
seven words that makes me want to watch Saturday night's main event. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, hot, and can you guess? Hot. That's it. As for that other segment, I could do without it.
Yeah, I can't argue that at all, with the exception of it. And I agree with you, Robbie, that they're continuously watering those seeds for a Judgment Day breakup.
Wait a minute. Speaking of water and seeds, we just did mention Jade Cargill and Tiffany. Wait a minute now. We're going off kilter again. It's only a few minutes into the show. I apologize, folks.
Hey, Cook, what's in that Mountain Dew?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? It's a thing called Viagra's.
No, God, you don't need that, man.
Oh, how do you know? I'm old.
You're right. I don't know. That sounds really bad.
You'll find out. You'll find out in March.
Finally, after about 45 minutes of Raw being on the air, we have our very first match.
Really? Was that long? 45 minutes?
Between 35 to 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
And yet they still had time to not show everybody's entrances.
Right.
Bizarre.
The very first match is Penta going against Rusev for a number one contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. It ended in a double DQ because of Los Americanos and El Grande Americano interfering in the match. Overall, before this foolishness happened at the end, Bob, what do you think about this match?
I didn't think it was that bad, and I'm not a Rusev fan at all. He bores me to death, but his wife doesn't. Strangely enough.
You mean ex-wife?
Right.
Oh, I don't know. They still hang out together, so I don't know.
Okay.
Then I know what that's like. Whoa, hey. I'll be hanging out with her later when she gets home from work. Never mind. We'll keep that to ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. This match wasn't a bad match at all. I think Penta really added to the match. It was hard hitting. The end of the match, though, I kind of seen it coming, honestly, because I figured that we'd be going some type of a three-way during the match. Robbie, what did you think about the match?
It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I don't there's some people that have come back and they're just not over, and I guess you throw Rusev in that category. Right. And I think Penta carried him because his athleticism and stuff like that. But you could kind of tell when, what you had with the Los Americanos and stuff, that something was going to happen towards the end to set it up. You kind of knew it was going to go a three-way.
Right.
Hey, wait a minute. You mentioned three-way. Hey, we got a party going on, Jade and Tiffany. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Got carried away again.
Oh, man. Now, I'm curious. What I'm curious about is what's going to happen when Chad Gable gets back with the whole Americana thing. Are we going to have...
Things are going to get much shorter when Chad gets back. Oh, that's not funny.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I know that was a pun, but in a way, you're right. Are we going to see this feud between the Americanos? Is he going to join in? What's going to happen? That's what I'm curious about. Now, backstage, Adam Pearce confronts Dominic, who had been scheming with Los Americanos. Pearce was behind the act and booked Dominic in a triple threat intercontinental title match against Penta and Rusev for Saturday's main event. I'll be honest, guys, and I'm sure, Bob, you're going to disagree with me. I think between the men's matches, this match may be the dark horse. This match may indeed end up stealing the show.
I don't know, but to me, the only thing that could get me into the feud with this Americano stuff is if they bring Mr. America back. But unfortunately, that's not happening, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. What are your thoughts about this match? I know, is this a match that you're going to be looking forward to see?
I kind of agree with you. Could be Penta and Dom, because Dominic's over now. Like, he's at her face, because you hear even when he's cheating, they're cheering for him. Him and Penta, like I said, they're both athletic and everything. I'm curious to see how Rusev really fits in that match.
Yeah, because
can he hang with them?
That's a good question.
He's that power guy, but can he hang with the athleticism and stuff like that?
Right, and that's a good question, Robbie, because Rey Mysterio and Penta, their ring style kind of complements one another. So Rusev may indeed kind of be that guy that is kind of out of place. Bob, how do you think that's going to affect the match?
Well, they probably got like 3 different people that are going to put the match together, so it'll be match confusion. And by the way, you're right. Dom is over. I'm over him.
But he's the odd man out of that match, just like you said with the styles. His style is just way different, and it's going to be curious to see how that pans out.
There's one thing we can guarantee between now and then is that Dom won't be at the gym. We can pretty much be assured of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he spends more time in the tattoo parlors than in the gym, because I've noticed more tattoos. And look, I love tattoos.
I think your co-host knows what that's like.
Well, but look, this is the thing. I've got a ton of tattoos myself, but I also spend time working out. I think he skips the gym and just hits the tattoo parlor.
That's right, Dom. This is the coach talking to you. Get on some steroids. Go old school.
Mr. Tyler said, "Good evening, gentlemen," and I use that term loosely.
Who's that?
Dread Tyler.
Oh. Red
Next,
Tyler or Dread?
Dred. Dread. People with their names.
I don't know.
Next, we see LA Knight backstage cutting a promo promising he'll go after whoever emerges as the World Heavyweight Champion between Punk and Uso. And Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker had a strategic chat backstage as well. Heyman convincing Breaker to take on LA Knight to keep their path to the title clear. Man, LA Knight looks like he's just the guy that's going to continuously get his shoulders pinned to pit over people, because I don't remember the last time he won a match. Bob, what's going on with LA Knight, man? Do you think that he's gotten to the point that he is now going from that guy who fans loved to the guy that WWE is now using to put over talent?
Who knows how the wrestling business works, but I bet his bank account doesn't mind either way, if he's smart anyways.
Right.
The only one who actually cares about wins and losses, unless you're a mark for yourself, like Bret Hart or idiots like that, are the fans. But then I mentioned the word idiot, so there you go.
You should probably mention Goldberg in that conversation.
Well, he had that streak and everything. No one's going to beat that. Oh, except that girl. I don't remember what her name is, but
right. Mr. Tyler said, "Are they using LA Knight to put over talent?" I'm not, man. I don't know. It looks that way to me. What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, I don't. I think part of it, they got so much talent, they don't know what to do with people. You would think you'd kind of give him a, he was getting a push, and then all of a sudden it stopped. So it's strange. I agree with Bob. in the sense, yeah, you shouldn't care win or lose. If he's, if he's getting paid well, that's all that's mattering. But it is weird that you pushed him for a while and you gave him a title, and now all of a sudden, like you said, he's getting, he's just, putting people over.
Yeah. But the main thing is regardless if he's winning or losing, he is on TV every week.
Yes.
So, and I agree with you guys. I mean, before I started this podcast, before I started talking to professional wrestlers, I did often wonder if that mattered to these guys and to these ladies, whether or not they took more wins than losses. And you guys are right. The majority of wrestlers that I've talked to have said, man, if I am taking a loss in the ring, that means I'm being used. That's all that matters, is that I'm being used.
Like, like who wants to
Right.
carry a belt? You carry a belt, you got to take it with you. At least you used to. I wonder if Mercedes Moné has to take all her belts with her.
It looks like the varsity carries her belt.
Well, but if LA Knight keeps throwing kicks like he was in the corner last night, he don't even deserve a spot cleaning the restrooms, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah,
I mean, the energy he put into that was embarrassing.
Brian Breaker, I usually don't have any critiques, and I really shouldn't critique him because I'm not a professional wrestler, right? And I understand that selling something like your head being smashed into a table, you got to be careful. I get it, but at the same time, it looked like his hands were taking more of a beating than his head when LA Knight was smashing his head into the table of the ring announcers. That was really my own critique with him. He's just such a phenomenal talent. I know. Are you a Brian Breaker fan?
I like him. Yes, I mean I like him. It goes back because we've all been there. Like some of his punches but you could say that about the whole roster. Like, you're on one night and some of your punches are off. You're off another night. And I mean, we've all been there,
What?
Yeah. Look,
like you just throw, like some nights you're just on, your punches look great and everything. And then, another night you're just, they don't look as crisp or good as the night before or 2 nights ago.
Right. And look, I have a hard time when it comes to the critiquing part, just because I would make these guys look like $1 million because of how bad I would be in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to critique. That's why I'm glad that you guys are here. Tyler said, going back about LA Knight being used, he says, if so, they will slowly move him down the card to mid-card. Sad. But my question is this, Tyler. When has LA Knight really been a main eventer? I don't think I can remember him in his career in WWE being anything but a mid-carder. But again, he is on TV every week, so he is doing something right. And I agree with Robbie Otto, and I agree with the Cooker that his bank account probably doesn't care if he's winning or losing because he makes money, and that's all that matters.
Right. And to what you just said, but even when he had held the title, he was basically a mid-carder.
Right. Yeah. I don't ever remember him being considered a main eventer. He's never held a main event belt. But again, not everybody can be main eventers. You have to have mid-carders. You have to have guys that are lower mid-carders, or else professional wrestling wouldn't be a great show. I mean, you have to have guys to make other guys look like $1 million. You really do.
Right. You have to have those guys that, okay, I'm going to put them as the opening match. That'll get the crowds going and stuff like that. So everybody, you find guys in their niche and you put them place wise.
Right. Bob, do you agree with this statement? And I know we hate talking about, what ifs, because you never know, but I'm going to go there anyway. Do you think that if LA Knight may have gotten to the point that he's at 10 years earlier, that we would see him carrying a main event belt?
It's possible because he is in his 40s, but
Right.
a lot of the guys, I mean, geez, Roman's almost 40, Cody's almost 40, so who really knows the reason? Maybe he rubs somebody the wrong way and it just keeps him down in some. But again, he's on TV every week. He's in a prominent spot. He gets promos. He gets backstage stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I look, if I was the LA Knight, I wouldn't be complaining, nor is he complaining.
No, he probably complains to his girlfriend or his wife.
Well, maybe.
But,
Brian Breaker wound up winning that match. All in all, I enjoyed the match. Again, Brian Breaker is just such a freak of an athlete. He really, really is.
Wonder where he got that from. Who's his dad? I mean, he must have been like a football player or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Dan? Thank you for bringing that up. I was going to bring it up later. I'll bring it up now. Good guy, Dan, saying prayers for Mike Rotunda.
Yeah.
I didn't get there yet, my man. So thanks for bringing that up. Mike Rotunda.
Horrible news.
Yep. He was sent home to hospice. So please send out whatever positivity, whether it's prayers or vibes or whatever you believe in, his way and to his family as well. You want to talk about legendary professional wrestlers? He's definitely one of those individuals.
You mentioned the Steiners, which we just kind of did without their name, but with the Varsity Club and Kevin Sullivan, that was hilarious stuff and good stuff too, not just hilarious. But
yep, absolutely. When it comes to Mike Rotunda, I always liked him. When he became IRS, I kind of lost a little bit of interest just because I grew up watching a straight Mike Rotunda. As far as he didn't really have that gimmick. I mean, I know that all wrestlers have a gimmick, right? But his gimmick was more of that reality. He was who he was, and then WWE did the IRS thing, which made the man a lot of money and.
Still to this day,
right? And to show his talent, he took something like that and made it highly successful. But yeah, the Rotundas, man. I mean, you want to talk about families, Bray Wyatt, Bo, Dallas, before them, Mike Rotunda. We're talking about Barry Windham as part of that family as well. I mean, bunch of great. Legendary wrestlers right there within that connection with Mike Rotunda. Barry Windham was one of my favorite guys, man. I love Mike Barry Windham back when he was with Georgia Championship Wrestling.
One of the best ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we go to the tag division. Lyra Vacara expressed her nerves about facing Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the women's tag team titles. Bayley reassured her, setting up some mentor-student vibes for the match. The only thing that I'm going to say about this that's a little negative is it's confusing me where they're going with Bayley and Lyra, because when Bayley came back, she was kind of this thrown off talent, where she was talking to herself. One minute she was friends with Lyra, the next minute she seemed like she wanted to kill her. But it seems like they kind of thrown that storyline out the window here for the past few weeks. Robbie, what's going on, man?
I'm kind of confused like you are. I mean, because you look what they've done with Bayley, like you said, where she's talking to herself. She's in the ring and she's got like 3 different personalities, and they're kind of, like you said, it's kind of getting thrown out, where they should have took the 3 different personalities and ran with it. Right. Like the old Bayley, the Bayley that was the role model, and then the last Bayley, and you could have, done something with it. But like you said, it looks like they've thrown that whole idea out the window. Yeah.
Bob, I guess the big question is, do you think, because I agree with Tyler, sometimes I think they don't know what to do with Bayley. Do you think that's the case? Do you think creative is just lost on what to do with Bayley?
Well, next week they'll have her back to her 3 personalities. They're not consistent,
Right.
That's the way it's always been for some reason. Who knows?
Yep.
Again, like Robbie said, they got so many people there. Some of them have so much talent, they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Next in singles action, Roxanne Perez, Nikki Bella. She defeated Nikki Bella with the Pop Rocks. Post-match, she and Raquel Rodriguez tried to continue the beat down, but Stephanie Vacara came running to make the save. You know what? I'm going to say this about Nikki Bella. Good for Nikki Bella for being back in the role that she's in WWE. I really think they're using her backstage to mentor some of the young women back there. She's going out and she's putting over these young women. Good for her. She's getting some TV time. Bob, what do you think about Nikki Bella being back, the position that she's in, and what did you think about this match?
Well, I didn't think it was a bad match, and I can think of a few positions I like her to be in. She's in her 40s, and she looks amazing. So I thought that was one of her better matches since she's been back. But that's just me. Maybe it was just her outfit. I don't know.
No, I agree.
Superficial, Bob.
I agree with you. I think this was a really good match. I know that a lot of fans have been harsh on her. One of the matches that she had, it looked a mess, but you have to give her some grace because I think that when she had been gone for so long, I do believe that even the best of the best, when they come back, there may be some ring rust there, and I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're considered a legend or not. And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But when you've been away from the business and then you come back on the stage that she came back on, nerves had to be at play in the beginning.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Idol?
No, I thought it was a good match. I haven't seen Roxanne have a bad match yet, really. I mean, she's good. So she's, and Nikki had a good match. I thought it was a real good match. So, and like you said, I think it is, and it, like, we've all been there with, like you said, being away from it, and you can practice and stuff like that, and you start getting in front like of these big crowds, and the nerves have to play part of it with you, just from being out of that for a while.
Right.
And then you take the age into factor too. So some of, what she's in her 40s, right?
Right.
And you start slowing down a little bit. So, there's a lot of factors in it.
Well, she had that major neck surgery. That's got to weigh on her the older you get, that kind of stuff,
Right. But answer me this question, right? She had been going for a long time. I have to imagine that where the nerves come in at is wondering, did the fans remember her? Because regardless if she gets cheers or boos, at least she's getting a reaction. I have to imagine, again, tell me if I'm wrong, that the biggest fear is the fans not doing anything at all, making no noise at all. Great boos and great for cheers. Silence, that's bad. So is that part of the nerves when you've been going for a while, is being worried that the fans didn't remember you or forgot about you, and they make no noise at all for you?
Oh, definitely, because when you think of when Charlotte, she was gone for over a year, she busted her ass. I followed her on Instagram, her working out, busted her ass to come back. And when she came back, the fans shit on her. And that has to just bother you all. They're in her good graces again now, seemingly, and rightfully so. But when she came back after being gone for over a year and busted her ass to get back, and then the fans act like they didn't care, that's got to bother. It's just like, what am I doing this for? Well, obviously the money, but other than that,
Right. Your thoughts, Billy? I mean, Robbie.
Billy.
Man, it's the last name Idol. I swear, Robbie. I call you Billy.
I know. Half the
Billy
people,
Idol, yeah.
Yeah. Half the people thought I took it from Billy Idol, and the other half knew I took it from Austin Idol. So, so I think I'm related to both of them.
Well, I got to tell you this, though, Robbie. I just seen Billy Idol not long ago.
Okay.
And you look 1,000,000% better than Billy Idol as far as being a superstar.
But he's in his 70s. Come on.
I think he had I think he had a few more drinks than I did down the road. Yeah, but you wonder, like, what else plays parts, like the neck injury. Are you kind of cautious with that? Are you, instead of going all out, you kind of worried and land wrong? Am I going to be hurt again? Same like with Charlotte with the knee thing and stuff. She looks, back to her old self. But yes, having no crowd noise, whatever. Yeah, it's got to weigh on you. But I think that they're such big names that people, they're not forgotten.
Right. Yeah, I agree. The thing though is, and I hate to shit on these people because I need these people to subscribe to my podcast, but I'm going to be honest. The wrestling fans, today's wrestling fans, not all of them, but a lot of them just suck. They are cruel,
toxic.
I can only imagine, what the talent has to go through today when it comes to worrying about what the fans are going to say, especially in the world of social media. I mean, these fans are just shitty at times.
Yeah. But I mean, I think fans, like, even back in our day and stuff, I think you had the only difference was you didn't have all this social media. So you didn't have the keyboard warriors and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, social media is everywhere, so, everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody, you can't get away with nothing, or, nothing gets past anybody. Because think about it from back in the day, like when we worked and you were a fan, the only thing you had was the dirt sheets.
Right. Well, let me just say this. If they had a cell phone back in our day, Robbie and I would be sitting in jail right now going, well, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Herb Simmons says,
that guy made a waitress cry and cops were called and she quit her job. That's what that guy did. That's the kind of guy he was.
Herb Simmons says, good evening, gentlemen. Herb, he's going to be on the show in a few weeks, guys. Be watching out for that. We're going to be talking about the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, this year's reunion in Vegas, and then also Penelope Paradise.
Oh, no way.
Hi, you guys. I am absolutely honored that both of you and everybody who is watching this, that you guys are watching this. I really appreciate it. Next.
I wonder if she'll tell you the first time I met Penelope and Robbie was there. It was cops were called that time too, actually.
Well,
and then there's the time we got chased. Then there's the time we got chased through the streets of Claremont with Sean Waltman in the back or in the front seat, Sean and me and Penelope in the back seat, and some cycles chasing us through the streets. It was insanity. Remember that, Robbie?
Yes, I remember that.
Bob, you can't just tease us, man. Tell us the story.
Well,
wait. Well, Penelope says, "Shut up."
Oh, what? Well, it wasn't her fault. We were just, we were wrestling for Jerry Gray. Used to be my tag team partner. He'd running shows in, I think it was Claremont or where was that? What was that other place called? Wasn't it Claremont, the Jenkins Auditorium?
It was either Claremont or Live Oak or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Claremont. We always used to go to the Clock Restaurant after the show and just unwind. And coming out of the Clock Restaurant, we're all sitting, getting ready to get in our car, and some guy got in his car and he drove away without his lights on. I just happened to yell, "Hey, your lights are off!" And the guy came back and he was like, "What are you saying? So your lights are?" And he ended up chasing us through the streets of Claremont like a psycho. And Robbie's driving around, and he kept turning his turning signal every time he would turn in. And Penelope's in the back seat yelling at him, "Stop turning your turning signal on! He knows which way we're going." And Sean was probably 16 years old then.
15 or 16.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking, what have I got myself into? Good times.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then again, I'll go back to that. The first night I met Penelope was at the Channel 3 studios in Tampa. She was a good-looking blonde. So obviously I said, hey, maybe I should talk to her. So I talked to her, and I invited her to go out for with us after the show to get pizza at a local pizza place. And we're all sitting there having fun. Sean was with us at that time too. Rick Ryder, Frankie Reyes, who knows who else. A bunch of other people who were just happy to be with us because that's the way it went. But there was only another couple in the pizza place. And and we're being kind of loud, and they just happen to say, "Hey, we're on a date. Could you be quiet?" That's all Robbie needed to hear. Everything went crazy. Got up, the guys. He's like, "What are you saying?" And the pizzas were flying, the food was flying. Cops were called. We got thrown out. Best part is though, we ate most of the pizza and never had to pay for it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
But then at the same time, I remember like pizza's flying, and I'm sitting next to Penelope, and I just leaned over to her while all the chaos is going on. I went, "Hey, you want to go to Claremont? Jerry Gray's got a show next week. Want to go with us?" And she said, "Yeah." During all the chaos.
Penelope Paradise says, "I'll tell the story about the clock." Penelope, I tell you what, you can jump on this podcast whenever you want. Just send me the message, man, and I will send you a link. And you're always welcome to come up with these clowns because I need a woman. I need a woman on this podcast because
she'll probably tell the story of when we got a police escort out of town because we were supposed to have a match where her hair was at stake. If I lost, her hair would be shaved.
Ooh.
And I ended up losing by mistake. I wasn't supposed to lose or something. The people were demanding her hair. It was chaos. I'm serious. The cops were called again. She tells the story better than
involved
I do.
in that one. So
she tells the story better than I share that story on Facebook every year. It pops up in my memories that she told it.
Well, I guarantee. You know what? I have a feeling that we'll have Penelope on a Tuesday night on Tuesday night podcast because I would love to have her on with you two. What we could do is quickly go over the Monday Night Raw recap and then let you guys just tell stories. I think
we might break the internet if that happens.
All right, guys. So next,
because I could tell another story about Penelope. No, never mind. She almost got us killed one night. One of the wrestlers threatened to shoot us all because of her. Hilarious.
Bob, she says, "Fuck you, Bob."
Oh, wait, that's not nice. I'm checking to see if she's texting me. Oh, no personal fuck yous.
So, going back to Roxanne Perez versus Nikki Bella, Roxanne Perez did win that match. We go backstage where we see a heart-to-heart between the Uso brothers. Jimmy confronted Jay about his Battle Royal elimination last week. They seem like they made up. They shook hands, though Jimmy made it clear his focus is on his own goal, not the bloodline. Now, guys, my prediction for what's going to happen with all of this, everybody's looking that Jay is going to be the one to turn heel. I disagree. I think that CM Punk, not only will he win this match, but I think CM Punk is going to be the one to turn heel, and he is going to be in cahoots with the Vision. Mr. Idol, what are your thoughts on everything that's happening with the Usos and CM Punk and the Visionary?
I could see that happening. With it, I mean, I've also heard a few people saying they think that Jay's gonna win the title, and that the bloodline, and he'll be the tribal chief, and bring back Roman, and he'll be, Jay will be the tribal chief. I could see the CM Punk thing happening more so than I can see Roman coming back, and acknowledging Jay. In that case.
Now, a lot of people say, well, that wouldn't make sense because there's no way that months ago when Paul Heyman turned on both Roman Reigns and CM Punk, that CM Punk would be in cahoots and say, yes, give me the low blow to fool everybody. But this is the thing about professional wrestling. What we seen 5 months ago doesn't count anymore, right?
Right. It's wrestling. You just said it. It's professional wrestling.
Exactly. Bob, what are your thoughts?
I'd rather see Brock Lesnar come back and destroy CM Punk after he wins the title. And then he destroys Bronson Reed and says, now spend the rest of your days in catering. That way you'll always be happy.
That is a possibility as well. Because we've been having these mysterious vignettes that has shown a man walking and then a man's hands. Now we know that those little fat fingers belong to Paul Heyman, but we don't know what they're planning on doing. Could this lead to it being something to do with Brock Lesnar? Maybe so. And I agree with you. I would prefer it being Brock Lesnar just coming in and destroying everybody, and him joining up with Paul Heyman and part of the Visionary. I think at that point you would have a group that was unstoppable if they booked them right. I know. What do you think about that scenario? Brock Lesnar coming in.
I've heard that too. I'm not a Brock fan. I think the dude's reckless.
What?
I think he's reckless. That's my personal thought. But I mean, you could see that happening also. And if you really wanted to see a swerve in there, I'm going to throw one more idea out. Who's leaving AEW? Whose contract is up? How crazy would it be if it's Jericho?
Oh yeah, Jericho. I mean, yeah, that's been all over the internet. Nothing has been confirmed, although they are saying that Jericho hinted that he's not re-signing. It is up at the end of 2024. The thoughts are that Jericho wants to go back to WWE to have his retirement run. And I get it. A lot of fans are butthurt over it because he's leaving AEW. I understand. As much as I like AEW, at the same time, if I was a professional wrestler that's been in the business as long as he has, and I had the option of where I was going to have my retirement run at, it would have to be WWE. Cooker, what's your thoughts on all that?
I think it'd be great if Jericho comes back.
Yeah.
Give him the Hall of Fame nod and all that. Definitely deserves it.
Yep, 100%. Next, we finally go to the Brian Breaker and LA Knight match, which we talked about earlier. Brian Breaker hit that devastating spear to secure the victory. We already talked about that match, so we'll move on to Finn Balor and JD McDonough had their own backstage moment demanding a tag team champion match. Instead, Adam Pearce booked JD in a singles match against Sheamus. JD came out on top after Balor used the shillelagh to take Sheamus out, and McDonough hit a Spanish fly for the pin. What did you guys think about this match? Let's start with you, Bob.
Boring. I'm not a Sheamus fan.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just boring. And I don't, nothing against the guy. He's actually more entertaining on his little fitness show on YouTube. Especially when he's got the girls on there.
I've said this more than once that I like Sheamus when he first got to WWE and he was booked as that guy that John Cena just could not beat. He was just kicking the crap out of John Cena. But it seems like since then it's just kind of going down as far as I'm concerned. I do agree that he's somewhat boring. What about you, Mr. Idol?
I agree, somewhat boring. I mean, but it wasn't a bad match. You kind of knew the outcome with Finn out there. They're just, some of the stuff is just predictable.
Right.
So you knew there was going to be interference. You knew JD was going to, come out on top. But for what it wasn't a bad match. I mean, right. It really wasn't a bad match. It just kind of, you knew the outcome. To me, it was predictable.
Yep. I can agree with that as well. Dread Tyler said, time for a JD McDonough push. He's put in his time. I really thought that after that injury of his, that they was going to push him when he came back. Not really. Before the main event, Maxine Dupree talked to Pierce about her future plans, saying she's not ready to challenge Becky Lynch again just yet, but she's plotting for another opportunity. Man, I don't know what they're going to do with Maxine Dupree, but I tell you what, and we discussed this, that match against Becky Lynch looked phenomenal. That was the best I've seen her perform in the ring just yet. I hope they plan on doing something with her because I really think that she could go pretty far. I foresee her being that person that the fans shockingly will get behind more so than what they thought maybe that she could get. Bob?
Oh, I definitely get behind her. Behind her, in front of her, whatever. Wherever she wanted. I'll even take her under my wing and show her a few things.
Good God. Now, do you guys think that she's going to be the one to surprise everyone and take that title away from Becky Lynch?
No, because that's what they should do.
I agree. What about you, Vital?
Bob's not going to agree with me. You may not agree with me. I kind of put her in that Jade Cargill that there's just something missing. I don't think, like, to me, her and Jade, the promos are off a little bit, and you can still see, like, they haven't caught on completely yet. And that's kind of where I put her.
Now, I'm not a Jade Cargill fan. I know Bob is. There's ever since AEW into WWE, there's just something about her that I'm just not able to invest in. She's not a bad talent at all.
No.
But
No,
I just can't invest in her for some reason. Maxine Dupree, to be honest with you, how they were using her was aggravating me for a long time. I like the side of Maxine Dupree where they're making her where she's not so ditzy. She's an actual athlete. So this is why I'm really behind them giving her a push, because of that. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with her. I just think I just don't know if they're ready for the spotlight.
Right.
For the big time. Can they take the ball and carry it? I don't think Jade's at that point right now to take the ball and carry it. I have seen a lot of improvement out of Maxine, and like you said, she's not as ditzy and this and that. So I do like that where they're not, making her that ditzy person and stuff.
Yeah. Now, where I felt that way about what you're saying, that they weren't ready for the spotlight to take the ball and run with it. There's a young lady that I said the exact same thing, and I was dead wrong. And that was Tiffany Stratton. I didn't think that she was ready to be the world's champion. I didn't think that she'd be ready for that WrestleMania event, being on that big of a platform in the main event. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong about her. Bob, do you agree with what Idol's saying, that Maxine's just not ready for that spotlight just yet?
Oh, no, she's not necessarily ready, but, you throw her in there and see how she does. And if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. I mean, it can't be any worse than some of the other things they did. And speaking of Braun Breaker, when he was doing that stuff into the table, that makes you remember. He must have learned that from Becky Lynch.
Yep, right.
That's something you shouldn't learn. You're talking about Maxine not being ready, but Becky Lynch's been around for years, and that's how she. Remember that's where we. I don't even know remember who she wrestled, but it's the worst head into the table repeatedly I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Miss Paradise says that she agrees with what Dread Tyler said, talking about but Jericho wants to retire in WWE and get his well-deserved Hall of Fame ring. Absolutely.
Greatest debut in the history of wrestling was Jericho coming back in 99. Yep. Not coming back, going there in 99.
Right. No, absolutely. And that, quick little segment that he had with The Rock is one of the best segments in professional wrestling that went along with this interview. And, that brings up a point that, we've seen it tonight, these long segments with these promos, right? 20 minutes, a half an hour. And by next week, it's almost forgotten about. But yet we have these shorter segments that happen, like Chris Jericho and The Rock. And it's something that's remembered. I think a lot of times less is more. And they've forgotten about that in WWE, in my opinion. finally,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say, a lot of times it depends on the people too. You go back, you watch like Steve Austin, them. They used to have those long promos, but it was freaking Steve Austin. It was entertaining from the minute the glass broke.
Right.
So it's really who's out there doing the talking. If you got Cody Rhodes, who I think is fantastic in the ring, but the promos and the way he delivers the promos, and when Seth Rollins back and forth, it can be just grating on your brain. It's so boring. If you got characters like Steve Austin, you don't care if it goes an hour because it's entertaining,
Right.
Or The Rock back in the glory days.
I was going to say that one of the best segments in WWE's history was the Nick Foley, Mankind, whatever.
This is your life thing.
This is your life. Yeah, it was a half an hour, if not longer, but it was the highest rated segment in the history of WWE. So you're dead on right.
But
Robbie,
that's the thing about that. They know their hourly ratings. I don't know if they know that on
Right.
what do you call it, Netflix anymore. But years ago, they always knew the quarterly, like what happened, what worked best in the first 15 minutes and a half hour. So they know what we don't know. Like you're going, well, it's a 25-minute segment, but if they get the results the next day and go, that was the highest rated segment of the show, what's their motivation to cut it down to a 5-minute segment?
Right. Yep, absolutely.
The only reason the segment, like back in the old days on TBS or whatever, that's because those shows were taped. They had, time frames that meant something. So you had Dusty go out there and do 2-minute promo. Ric Flair, Tuesday night at the Omni, blah, 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 or Sunday night, I should say. At the Omni, it's me and you. And the promo was done. The people sold out. It was a different time, though.
Right. Mr. Tyler said, he's asking, who shoots the best promo in pro wrestling today? You know what? And you guys may disagree with me. I think there for a short period, I would have had to go with MJF. Something is happening with MJF. I don't know what he's lost.
Or he was great.
Maybe it's something with AEW that's, holding him back. I don't know. But for a short period, I think it was MJF. Right now, I don't agree. Go ahead, Robbie.
Well, I was going to say I agree with you, and I mean, if you had to pick, like the top, MJF was on the top. Now something's, like you said, something's missing in AEW with him. But I mean, as far as like the best pure number one guy, MJF.
Yeah,
he was so good when they were giving him the time to actually do his promos. Right. I don't know. Remember that one promo he did in that dressing room where he's telling the story about what a scumbag he was when he was in high school. He got in a car accident with his girlfriend, and I think she died even, right? And he goes, "I changed her from the passenger to the driver's seat." That's one of the best promos ever.
Yeah. Especially for a young man that age, because there were so many. I seen Ric Flair in him. I seen Dusty Rhodes in him as far as those promos, right? And it seems like when he left for a while and then when he came back, something's just been off. Not sure. I hope he finds himself again.
I think a lot of it is AEW doesn't have the right people guiding the ship.
Right. Have you heard
from what I've heard through on AEW, though, they also let the talent do their own creative side.
Yep. Now, have you guys heard who is going to be part of creative for the NWA now?
Oh, that was all work. Even Vince Russo admitted that wasn't real.
Oh, it wasn't real? I didn't get that part.
Which, thank God. I mean, I don't watch the NWA, but Jesus, Vince Russo's not going to help him. That guy's an idiot, bro. Come on, bro.
Right.
I mean, bro, you got to think, bro. That there's no way that bro could, bro, do anything, bro.
Oh, man. Finally, we have the main event, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, who retained their women's tag team titles against Bayley and Lyra, hitting a double natural selection to end the match. And then, of course, the Kabuki Warriors came in, but we'll stop there. Let's talk about the match. Definitely the match of the night. This match was absolutely phenomenal. I have to give props to Lyra and Bayley because I'm not a big Bayley fan, but they absolutely overachieved the expectations that I had for them in this match. This was a great match. Robbie, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match?
Thought it was very good. I mean, I think all four of them did a great job. Even when like at the one spot, like towards the end, when what was it? I think Lyra got her hair caught in Alexa's top or whatever.
Oh.
How they, to do that. But I mean, the whole match, it was entertaining. They were very, very good. A lot of, good spots and everything like that all through there.
Right.
So, like you said, it was the match of the night, but all four of the women did really good.
Yeah, I agree. Bob?
Yep, that's a great match. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," which is, today's validation chant, I guess. And it was. I thought it was a really good match.
Yeah, I agree. I have to tell you, my big fear, though, is this. When they decide to take these titles off of Bliss and Flair, that at that point, they're going to start a feud between these two ladies at some point. They're going to turn on each other. I don't think that would be very good for Charlotte Flair. I think that the fans would go back and turn on her again. Your thoughts on that? And real quick, the only reason I mentioned that about the fans turning on her was because and you brought it up, Bob, how she was treated when she first came back. The partnership between her and Bliss was supposed to only be for a short period. Charlotte Flair went and asked them to keep them together because of the support at that point she was getting with the fans. So, Bob, do you think that indeed that's may happen, that we're going to see these fans turning on Charlotte Flair if they have a feud together with Bliss?
I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think for some reason Charlotte now likes to be a babyface better. She seems to take it personal. I think probably because she was expecting that babyface reaction when she came back, and she should have got, I think, just because of the hard work she put. Not that she should, not that that's the reason. Like, she'd come back and people just go, "Oh, she worked hard. I love her." But it just, the way they treated her was just, I don't know. It was just almost like, how the fans have that mindset that she didn't earn anything she's got. She's only there because of her dad, which is bullshit times a million. I mean, I heard back when she was in NXT, she was with all the rest of the kids helping set up the rings and take them down. She was treated with no special. She may have got a foot in the door a little more because of her dad or whatever, but she earned it because once she got the ball, she ran with it and she scored touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So, she's one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time, I believe. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, I completely.
I mean, she's no fabulous Moolah, but.
Right. What about you, Robbie?
I think they feud. If when they split them up, they'll definitely turn. The way the fans are. But yeah, they definitely turn on her and probably go right back to the way it was when she came back from her injury. Because I mean, like when she won, what was it? The Rumble or whatever, there were a lot of people pissing and moaning, going, "Oh, she didn't deserve to get to WrestleMania like that. That so and so should have won or whatever." I mean, she worked hard coming back from injury and everything, and it didn't look like she lost a step. So, she is one of the greatest women wrestlers there is.
And she's not a young lady either, right? At this point, right? She's almost 40.
Yeah.
I think
not that
she might be.
Right.
I think I think she's in her 40s. I think she's in her 40s.
We got to look this up. Somebody.
Yep.
Somebody look it up. Hey, Eddie, come over here. Come over here.
Tyler wants to know.
You're fired.
How much more?
Guy's an idiot.
How much more career time does Charlotte Flair have before she retires? I don't know, but I tell you what, my
10
dream
years
match,
at least.
My dream match for Charlotte Flair, and it probably won't ever happen, but my dream match is Flair against Tessa Blanchard, because I think Tessa Blanchard is also one of the best female wrestlers out there as well. Unfortunately, there's all this negative shit behind
Right.
her.
But she's caused some of it, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
You know,
And
so
I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying
Right.
though that it's unfortunate though.
Right. Unfortunately, I mean, so I don't know that WWE wants to deal with that backlash. You know that.
But the question is this, right? Everybody makes mistakes. You know, Hogan made a mistake. Tessa made a mistake. And if the people that they made a mistake against has said, we forgive them, it's okay, then why shouldn't everyone else give them a second chance as well?
Because they're idiots. Especially, well, she's not even, how old is Tessa Blanchard? I mean, God, you're like condemning her, like she should just go hide in a box somewhere the rest of her life. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
but then you got to realize that comes from a bunch of unaccomplished, ignorant, mostly unwashed wrestling fans. So, what do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about?
By the way, go to Bob Cook, ProWrestlingTees.com. Buy me a T-shirt, wrestling fans.
What do you think about the statement that I made? That if the people who they made the comments against can forgive them, shouldn't we all be willing to give them a second chance?
You'd think, but
you should. But again, you got to think. Here we go again.
Right.
It's sports entertainment, but it's also a business. So now you don't know the people that are pulling the trigger, that are making the money decisions. They may be back there going, I don't want to deal with the headaches. I'm not going to deal, with what you've heard from the locker room and stuff like that. So it's a business also. The business side, unfortunately, the people that are in charge of that, like, they're looking at it going, I don't want to deal with this,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because that would be, that would be a dream match. I mean, you look, Charlotte's one of the best. Tessa's one of the best. Tiffy stays healthy. She's going to be one of the best in such a short period of time that she's there.
She's young. She's young too.
Right. I won't say I was like, I overly fond of her, Stephanie Vaquer, but I watched her, like, actually really sat down and watched her work, and the girl can work. So you got to throw Stephanie up there, but she's been wrestling for a long time, but she's very good. So she's one of the best in there, So you got some people, and then there's some other people in NXT that are good. You got, some other, a lot of the roster, a lot of the women, they're loaded on that side, the women.
Absolutely.
So Ruka.
And going back to Charlotte Flair against Tessa, it's yes, one big reason is because they're both so good, right? But another reason is because of the history of their families.
I was going to say that, and how cool would that be? That okay, Tully was a 4 horseman, Rip was a 4 horseman, and now you're going against that 4 horseman. That was that from back then. Now the kids are going, setting their own stage and battles and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Tyler wants to know, what do we think about, and then we're going to get to Penelope Paradise again. But Tyler wants to know, what do we think about Charlotte?
Penelope's still there? I thought she went to bed by now.
Oh, she don't go to bed early. What do you guys
think about Charlotte versus Asuka?
Charlotte versus Asuka? I mean, it's been done so many times, right?
Right. That's my thing as well. I agree with that.
Didn't she beat Asuka at WrestleMania one year?
She did.
It was a great match, though.
Wasn't she the one to actually beat her?
I think so. Yeah. And then Bill Goldberg congratulated her.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg was the first one to call Charlotte and go, "Congratulations."
Penelope Paradise. How much time does Charlotte Flair have? Question mark. More time than her father. Why are you putting girls in an age bracket? She's being that towards Tyler. And I actually agree with that, because we're not, saying things like, how much time does so-and-so have? That's a guy because he's 39 years old. Hell, we have men who are in their 40s who are now becoming world champions for the first time. So why do we put, why do some fans put women in that age category? I don't think.
Well, it's the same with everything. Right? Hollywood, same thing. Come on.
Yeah, I get it, but I think that look, Charlotte looks better now than what she did even when 5 years ago. I mean, she is a true legend in the business, and make no mistake about it. If it wasn't for your Charlotte Flairs, even your Becky Lynch's, the women's division wouldn't be what it is right now. Yes, I agree that your Litas and your Trish Stratus's had a huge part in the women's division being an actual women's division in WWE. But without Charlotte Flair, I don't think we'd be there yet.
Hey, wait a minute. I got to call somebody. What's it? Hey, yeah, Tony Khan. Yeah, this is Bob Cook. Yeah, that Bob Cook, the cooker, right? Hey, would you do me a favor and release Penelope Ford and Megan Baines at WWE? Yeah, you're an idiot anyways. All right, go back to snorting cocaine. Goodbye. I want those two girls in the WWE.
Yeah, good.
But what you're saying, like the one that would, and Bob's going to probably disagree with me on that, but that's fine. You'll be wrong on this one. But the closest that you had out of the bunch that you named, like the Trishas and Litas and all them, was Lita, though, because she kind of did that high flying and stuff like that, where a lot of the other girls didn't do like what Lita did. Like her or not, she was that girl that kind of introduced all that stuff.
Yeah,
well, she came from the Mexican territory, so
Yep.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
But I was partial to Mickey James. I always liked Mickey.
The women's division, especially WWE, has been strange in the fact of, if you go way back to the days of Moolah, right? That was a real women's division. And then somewheres in the 90s, they decided that we're not going to take our women's division seriously, so we're going to start all these dumb matches, the oil matches, or the bra panty match.
They had their upside. Well, at least I did. Oh,
and now it's led to what we have today. Now, in many ways, I have to say the women's division is stronger than what it's ever been. And I'm not taking away the times of Moolah, but the reason why for me it's stronger than it's ever been is because the amount of women that we have in the women's division, instead of only having 5 or 6 women, now we have a lot, and we have a lot more women that's coming up from NXT who are damn good as well. You guys agree with that? Disagree with that?
I totally agree with it.
No, I've said for years they should have their own women's TV show.
I absolutely
call it NXT The Women or something like that.
I think that if WWE, and this is bold for me to say, but I think if WWE had a show dedicated just to the women's division, I think that show would get higher ratings, would have better matches, better storylines than the main roster right now, than in your Raw and SmackDown. I really do, because that's how talented these women are. And half of them don't get the TV time that they should get.
Right.
Yeah, they've been giving the women more TV time.
Go ahead, Bob.
But if you,
I was just going to say they've been giving the women more time on TV than they have. More longer matches, right. But they're fickle, like Brian Danielson said, right? For a while they were giving the women time, then they took it away, and it was just 3-minute segment, 4-minute matches, whatever. Now they're giving them longer matches again. Which I like to see.
Right. Go ahead, Robbie.
But you look at some of the pay-per-views and stuff like that. Some of the matches, the women have upstaged the guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, not so much this year, like at the Money in the Bank, but last year's Money in the Bank, like all the women in that match, the risks that they took and the bumps and just crazy, stuff they did, they took more risk than the men in that match.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, the pay-per-view that they just had is an all-women's pay-per-view. I can't remember the name of it. But I tell you, I enjoyed that more than a lot of the other pay-per-views. And last year, that pay-per-view, I'd have to put them in the top 3 pay-per-views WWE had. I really do. I mean, they steal the show constantly. If you give them enough time, they steal the show.
That's what I always say. If you give them the time, they will shine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, this wraps up our Tuesday night edition of recapping Monday Night Raw. Robbie, Bob, thank you guys both for coming on. This has been a really good podcast. I knew that I would love having both you guys on and talking about so much that is happening and that has happened in professional wrestling. Guys, we will be back on Thursday, me and the Grizzle Vet, to talk about AEW Dynamite, and as well as a little bit of history. So please subscribe to the podcast. Hold on 1 second. I can't ignore anything that Miss Penelope says. She says the WWE finished the contract with the Fabulous Moolah, then did the TNA till they could realize women in wrestling was an actual draw. I mean, you can't argue with that.
No, you don't want to argue with Penelope. Trust me. I tried it. I tried it once 35 years ago. I still regret it. It was about some girl in Atlanta. Never mind.
Yeah, you guys, please subscribe to the podcast. Join us on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be lucky enough for the cooker to join us again. And maybe if we're extra lucky, Mr. Idol will be joining us as well.
Well, I know
that
one thing.
Make for a super, super duper Thursday night podcast. But until then, you guys have a great night.
You too. Thanks.